like I've got everything.
1, 2, 3. Action.
I'm literally leaving that on the video, I swear. That was David, my director and brother. Hey guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. This is Divine, the D of DNN. I know it's been forever and a bag of chips, but I promise I haven't been dead, I haven't been hiding. There genuinely has been a lot going on. So I basically have been quarantining at home, and I'm gonna get into all of that now. But I hope you guys are fine, I hope you guys are safe, I hope everybody is around family, everybody feels loved, and all of that good stuff, you know. So I want to kind of answer a few questions, or rather tell you how I've been handling this quarantine, because I feel like going off for a minute can feel unwarranted. But yeah, so basically I was on campus living my best life, literally started working, getting that money, continued with my studies, was actually starting to work with a certain brand that I really respect, was really excited. I was booked to speak at the symposium with the psychology department, which I was really excited about. So things were looking up. I was like, God, you know what, when you close a door, it's true that you open like a lot of like windows or whatever people say. So I was really excited about the year.
Once everything was going smooth, everything was going neat. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
So yeah, I was really excited about life and where things were going for me. I was really expectant and looking forward to a lot of things happening, you know, like I had my calendar set and everything. And then we started getting news of like the corona outbreak, you know, little by little, like sprinkles. And I remember just thinking, you know what, I don't think anybody took this that seriously. Not because people were not dying, but just because it was like, okay, cool, we can ride this out. And I remember when we got like the news in South Africa of like, you know, students at the University of Wits and all of that, I was like, okay, cool, the university is definitely gonna tell us to go home, you know. So I was planning for it. I remember like Knox and I filmed that week even, and then I packed my stuff. I was like, cool, I'm waiting for my mom. My mom drove to Bloom to pick me up. I was so happy, guys. When I said I didn't take this seriously, this might be too, you know, TMI, but I packed like 10 underwear. I was like, I'm sorted, I'm only gonna be home for like, I thought the holidays that, you know, because holidays were coming anyway, I thought these holidays in a few weeks, maybe 2 weeks on top of that, then I'm back to campus. I didn't pack anything really. I left my blender, I left my pillows, I left some of my books. Like I was like, no, I'm not going forever. I left my plant, RIP. I think my plant is dead. I think my plant thinks I'm gone.
Honestly, truly, this is me.
I think my plant thinks I've deserted it, you know, like I really wasn't prepared. I don't think anybody was, you know. So I went home. My mom and my brother, my sister drove up to Bloom. They fetched me because I was like, should I take the bus? My dad was like, hell no, you're not catching corona on the bus, you're not catching corona on the plane. If you're gonna catch corona, it's gonna be your mom and your brother and your sister's gonna give it to you. So we drove. From Bloom, came back home, and I won't lie, like I really enjoyed those first few weeks. I mean, not that I'm not enjoying my family anymore, I do.
It was all a lie, guys. It was all a lie.
But it felt very blissful, because to be honest, this had been the longest that I've been at home for the past 4.5 years or so. Because I joined university. You don't join university. I went to university at the end of 2015 because yes, I was a second semester baby. So 2015 to 2020, second semester will be about 5 years. So it's about 4 years now. And I've never been home for this long. Literally, every time I come home, it's like a 2 weeks, maximum 3 a month, you know, and then I'm back to campus again. So it felt so good being at home. Like, my mom is a champion, so she genuinely like set this atmosphere of us being at home, and it made me really nostalgic. I think things that everybody not took for granted but was kind of accustomed to and used to, for me it was like rediscovering family all over again. Literally, like we had to draw up like a schedule with everybody's chores on them, and I obviously did that because I like things, you know. So I drew it up and like to put my name on things that I was in charge of for that week or for like the rest of quarantine, because obviously we were all at home. We were at home. The services that help us, our helpers, the gardener, wasn't around, so it was like Divine is in charge of cooking. For example, on a Monday, actually on Monday I'm in charge of breakfast. So Monday is breakfast, Tuesday was laundry, Wednesday's cooking, Thursday, what do I do Thursday? I think it's living room and the dining room that's cleaning, and then Friday I do the dishes, I clean the kitchen, all of that, and then Saturday and Sunday I chill, because that's self-care, Saturday and Sunday. But anyway, so just being part of things like that, you know, like chores at home, and something that I genuinely cherished every day was that we sat at the table every morning and had breakfast together. Now, if you know my family, there's like 25 people. I'm joking, not 25. There's 9 children, and then there's my mom, and then my aunt who's pregnant currently is living with us, you know, during the pandemic, and her 2 sons. So there's 10, 13 people. 14? David, who's 14? 9 plus mom is 10. Winner, Ifazi, Will. It's 13, bro. Are you gonna count the baby? Okay, she's pregnant, but whatever. The point is, all of us sat at the table and had breakfast every morning together. It was a big breakfast, and I would sit there and just listen to people talk nonsense for like an hour, and it was the funnest time. I wish everybody could have the experience. It's just so beautiful to have everybody sitting together, laughing, talking, roasting each other. That's what we do, you know, actually. But it was just so beautiful to have that experience, to have that feeling of everybody's together and all of that. I genuinely just miss that feeling of sitting down and eating breakfast. Not that Knox and I, or by myself, you know, in my place, didn't sit down to eat breakfast, but I feel like I was so accustomed to being on the go that I forgot like how to be a child in a family. And as I was sitting there, I realized, dude, it's almost like it's the first of the lasts. And not that, you know, my family is going anywhere or that anybody's dying anytime soon, but I realized like our firstborn is how old? He's 28. I'm turning, you'll never know, I'm joking, I'm turning 25 this year. Our youngest, how old is Sam? Sam is turning, she's turning 13 in a few days. And I was thinking, when, like, the reason why I say it's like it's the first of the last, it felt like, when are we ever gonna sit together like this again, all of us in our pajamas eating breakfast, my mom making us like eat certain things that she cooked and she's like, you're gonna eat it. It just felt so beautiful to me that I actually have family, that I actually have these people I can count on. It was so beautiful to me. I really cherished those, and I started looking forward to it. Like I can have my moments where I'm moody, or like those days that I don't feel like being around people, not because they did anything, but I'm just drained and I don't want, or if I'm in a really bad mood, I don't want to spill that on other people. So I'd rather just lock myself in my room and, you know, come out when I feel ready. But when we were having breakfast together, it just felt like that was something I was looking forward to, you know. So it was really beautiful. I got used to that again, and having a routine and having everybody around. We had, you know, days where we're like, okay, tonight is game night, and as a penalty, if you lost the game night, you had to jump in the pool. This was pre-winter, okay, we're not playing like that anymore. It's cold, we're not doing that. But those little things that we were doing, it was just so precious to me. I don't know, man. My point is, I missed being home, I missed being a child, so I genuinely didn't feel an urge to do the most and film everything or whatever. I was just like, I did film, but like for myself, you know. I didn't feel like, okay, I'm gonna sit down and film for DNN. Not that I don't love doing that, it's just I was like, I want to actually enjoy being at home and enjoy these people. Because I don't know, in the next 5 years, some of us are gonna be married, some of us are gonna have children, and I'm just like, bro, like we actually growing up, you know. So I really enjoyed that. And of course, like yesterday or 2 days ago, I got a call from like, you know, a friend, and then he was like, hey, how are you? I'm just checking on you and all of that. He's like, are you tired of home yet? I'm like, not really. And he's like, dude, you're the only person that I see that actually enjoys home. It's like you actually don't mind staying there. I'm like, first of all, that's not true. I do love my family. I think it's just about perspective. And what it made me realize was that I actually just wanted to kind of have perspective about things, you know. I'm not a kid anymore, so when I'm, you know, when I'm away, when I'm in bloom and I'm, you know, in working mode or studying mode, I think you wear different hats, okay? So when I'm here at home, I'm a child. When I'm there, I might be a child, but I'm not somebody's child there. Like I am responsible. I have people that count on me. I have responsibilities and work and stuff like that. So of course there were conflicts, basically what I'm trying to get to. And I think it comes to the point where it's like, bro, it's like you kind of have to adjust. It's like, no, this is still your mother's house. Like, you still have chores. Like, she knows you're an adult and you can go out, but you still have to ask, bro. It was very interesting, like adjusting to that again and being like, okay, cool, divide, relax. Like, this is still your mom. So I think it's almost like you forget how to be a kid, you know, so you have to find that middle ground to respect me. Not that I was doing the most, like, relax, but it felt like I had to learn again how to go habits, because I mean, there's 13 people in the house. Best believe there's different personalities, there's different temperaments, there's different love languages. So we all kind of had, at least me, I had to learn to acclimate myself to the environment again, because it had been such a long time. It wasn't all beautiful all the time, and I want to kind of touch on mental health / just how I dealt with it. I guess that's gonna be its own video, but it definitely wasn't just that high all the time, because there were really great moments when we played with one another. We had, like, I don't know, like slumber parties where it's just me and my one sister, where we're sleeping in the same room and we're having conversations and stuff. Like, there were really low moments as well, you know. And for me personally, there got a time where I just felt like I was floating, you know. It's like, okay, what should I do? Should I wake up? Should I make my bed? What's the point? I'm gonna sleep again. Should I even start wearing clothes again? Like, there was a time when I was a walking pajama for the longest time, because I just was like, what's the point? And it felt very like up in the air, you know. Like, I don't know, really, nobody really knew, like, when is this gonna end, you know. It's fun until it's not fun anymore. And for me, it brought a lot to the surface. And when I say brought a lot to the surface, it's like I said, I am a go-getter. I like having the schedule, I like having deadlines, I like having my calendars up so I know what's coming up. I have them on my calendar, I have them on my diary, I have them on my journal, so I can know what's coming next. And that kept me busy for the longest time. And then being at home and not having any of that really left me very still. And here's the thing, when you sit still, is that things that you wouldn't hear because you were running or walking, now you start hearing them. Or when you sit still, it's like, okay, things come to the surface that you wouldn't notice if you were always on the move. And when I say it hit me like a train, it really did, because I was so still. There was nothing distracting me or nothing that I was like actively working on, and it really got to a place where a lot of things came to the surface. And when I say a lot of things personally, this is the way I like to see it. Let's say there's a riot somewhere and you're walking and you're running. Obviously there's adrenaline, you're running away from, like, I don't know, the police and people who are trying to get you and stuff like that, and you feel fine, right? But once you get to safety, all of a sudden it's like, bro, like, I can't see properly. Why can't I see properly? It's like, no, dude, you have a black eye. You don't even know when you got punched, but obviously it affected the way that you were seeing. Then, like, why am I limping? And now you notice that you actually had, like, I don't know, like somebody hurt you on your side and now you're limping or whatever it is. And I think for me it was like that. Not that my life is like a riot, but I think like I said, for like the past 4 years I've been on such a go mode that I don't think I took inventory of what was happening in my life. Like the losses, the gains, the slaps, the punches in the face, because you're so busy. It's almost like self-dismissal. Like, it's not that much of a big deal, but it actually affects the way that you see. It actually affects the way that you walk. It actually affects the way that you talk and all of these different things. And I found myself in a place where I was like, now that I'm sitting still, I actually see, crap, like, this hurts or this happened, and I never took inventory of it to say that this actually happened. And when I say taking inventory, and I understand more than anybody that you can't sit and dwell on things as they happen all the time, because life moves on and you actually have things to do. But I ignored or didn't take inventory of a lot of things, and now that I was still coming to the surface, and I found myself being really sad, feeling really depressed over things that I didn't know mattered that much. And that's why it's important to take inventory, because you actually examine and, you know, look into whatever it is in detail. And only when you do that can you evaluate that this actually matters and it's something that I can't put off and I have to deal with, you know. So I sat down and I was like, okay, this happened. I didn't see it as a big deal, but it was a big deal. This actually affected me. This affected the way that I walked. This affected my vision and the way that I saw people and friendships and relationships. So I really had to sit with myself and face those things. And I think I did the thing that because obviously I'm studying psychology, more interested in counseling psychology, and I joined the counseling department. I've been volunteering there in my church for the past, for as long as I've been studying, and in my structure, I know that when people need something, I will avail myself and counsel them. And I did the thing that I do with people with myself, is that I genuinely sat there and I opened the vine up in ways that I'd never done before. And it's very scary. Being honest is so exhausting, y'all. Like, telling the truth all the time is an extreme sport. Telling the truth all the time to yourself, bruh, I was just like, it was so uncomfortable, but I had to sit there. So I basically sat down, wrote down all the things that were coming to the surface. Thank God for the Holy Spirit, because I don't think that was the work of my own. If you know anything about suppressing this stuff, you don't go look for things that you've been trying to hide. So thank you, Jesus, for kind of bringing those to the surface and actually dealing with them. So I sat down, I wrote them down, and I was like, okay, why do I behave this way in friendships? Why do I behave this way in relationships? Why do I feel so insecure about this? Why am I doubting this? Why am I not praying the way that I used to, and stuff like that? So I wrote them down, and I basically did like psychoanalysis on myself. Was it fun? No, I don't think it is. So I get it, like when people are like, I don't want to talk about things, but it's necessary though. So I sat down and I did that for myself. I wrote down my temperament, I wrote down my personality, I wrote down my strengths and weaknesses, I wrote down my love language, I wrote down my attachment style, all of these different things that kind of add up to who I am as a person. I wrote down, then I sat down and I said, okay, God, then what do you say I am? Who do you say I am? Because all of these things are facts, but I have to stick to the truth, and the truth is who you've called me to be and what you've spoken over my life and all of that. And it was really, really such a cool place. And that brings me to my next point. Not that this is like a point forward thing, but it really brought me to a place of just meeting God again, like the first time. And when I say that, I don't say that in the sense that I lost God or anything like that, but I think I had gotten so accustomed to experiencing God in a certain way that when it stopped happening that way, the way that I was used to it, I was like, okay, something is not okay. And that's the same thing, like with this quarantine, I wasn't able to go to church like I usually do. And that, guys, I don't even know, like I don't know how to clap hands anymore and worship, y'all. It's weird because I was so used to doing things a certain way, and I genuinely miss that. But I'm so grateful for what God started doing in this time as well, because sure, like I said, when I say I came to know God in a different way, but like before, it's almost like I went back to that place of complete dependence on Him. And that's something that I also had to evaluate in myself, like, bro, are you moving in your own source because you became a professional Christian? Like, I'm so used to God that I can do this on my own. All of a sudden it's like, God, I need you, like the air I breathe. Like now when I sing that song, it's not just something that I'm saying, it's actually something I'm experiencing. Because I got to a place where it's like, okay, doesn't mean when I don't feel God that He's not there. Right? We're so used to goosebumps and like this huge celebration and this huge almost like, I don't know, like this. I was so used to God showing up in such an explosive way that when it was really quiet, I started doubting whether He was there. And that relates to every area of my life, in my relationships, in my goals, in my dreams, and my purpose. And like, okay, God, now literally the world has pressed pause. Are you sure what you said to me is still what you said to me? Are you still gonna show up for me, in the places that you said you're gonna show up for me? And I've had to go back almost on all fours and depend on God the way that I used to before, and I'm so grateful for that. But yeah, like it brought me to a place of complete surrender again. And it's almost like I had to get to a point where the children of Israel came to it. It's like, you're so used to seeing like the pillar of fire and the pillar of cloud by day and manna falling from the sky, and then when all of those miracles stop, it's like now you have to grow up and not rely on your feelings to know that God is good. And all of a sudden I had to really, really stop seeking feelings, but like rely on the truth and things that I had been building up for years. And so it's so important to actually build up and praise God and pray even when things are good, because when things come to stillness, and you don't have, I don't know, like a pillar of fire by night, you still need to know that it's still God, you know. So I came to that place to really see God like before, like fall in love all over again. Not that I fell out of love, but you can love somebody and not be in love, right? And the in love is the daily thing. Love is on top of the whole thing, but in love is like the active every day. And literally I took myself back to like square one. I was like, read your Bible every day, make reminders of that. Even if it's like 1 o'clock, for me it's not tomorrow until I sleep. So I'm not gonna sleep until I read my word, until I speak to God. And I think the other thing as well that I'm really learning as well in this time, to kind of have fresh vision again and to see your purpose for what it is, and to say, okay God, clearly when you called me to serve you, when you called me to my purpose and told me these were the things that I was meant to do as a human being, I didn't know that, but you counted this global pandemic in that. And so I'm going to trust you, even when it doesn't look like it to me, you know. It's like, okay, do I apply for things that, you know, that I wanted to apply? I mean, what's going on? What's the point anyway? You know, so many things are pulling in so many directions, and that's when I needed to really, that stillness that I was scared of, that I didn't like because it was like crap, many things are coming to the surface and all of that. That's the very stillness I needed for me to hear clearly again, this is exactly what I called you to be. Nothing catches me off guard. This is part of the plan. You can't always pray away things. You can't always fast away things. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to sit in the fire. Because, I mean, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego literally had to be in the fire to have the fourth man show up. If you're always trying to get out of the fire, how you even going to experience the fourth man? You know what I'm saying? It's when you're sinking that you call to God, not when you're sitting on the boat. And I'd rather have fellowship with God in the fire than sit on, you know, somewhere where it's comfortable and never have him around. So that stillness also taught me to sit with uncertainty and deal with it as I'm going, and not try to be in control, because y'all know I'm a control freak. Y'all know I want to be in control and know what's going to happen, but this has been really humbling for me to remember that God is God and I'm not. So yeah, it was definitely weird, definitely felt like I was floating, and I had to go back to the initial word. I had to go back to the basics, which was praying every day, even if it's like as I'm walking, as I'm doing things, making time for intimacy, to be intimate with God again. That's a whole different thing, because like I messed up big time, y'all. Like I did the most, and then at some point I was like, I don't even know if I deserve to pray, so I'm just not gonna pray. Is he gonna listen to me? And all these different things. And so even in that, going back to intimacy, learning that it was not my good deeds and my good actions and the fact that I was serving, that I was leading and all of that, that made me sin right with God. He loved me before I could perform. So I had to get out of that mentality as well. Like quarantine has done the most for me, so I'm really grateful for it actually. But yeah, that's what's been up with me. I'm definitely, like, some of these topics are videos on their own, and those are definitely coming up soon. But I just wanted to let you know what I've been up to. I've missed you guys. I've missed my friend Nox. Like, y'all don't understand. Like, Nox is really like a day one here. So it's been really hard. Like, we've spoken at length about like things that are, you know, happening with me, what's going on with her, how she's dealing with quarantine and all of that. Like, Divine and Nox, how do we move forward? So best believe we haven't. David, can you stop eating so loud? Like my brother. And he's not even sharing. My point is, Nox and I have been talking about this a lot, so we haven't forgotten. We're really excited, like we said, for a month now. We've been planning and like getting in contact, you know, getting ourselves together again. So please look forward to more videos. It's not always going to be like sit down like this. Like, I'm really hopeful. Like, she's gonna be filming on her own, I'm gonna be filming on my own. Sometimes we're gonna have like things overlapping. So we're really excited for the future. Thank you so much for being ride or dies, for sticking with us, for kind of being patient. Obviously we've been communicating on our social media and with you guys personally, but yeah, it's been really interesting, and I'm really excited about the future. So thank you for sticking around. Thank you for sitting down with me. I made tea, y'all, and I didn't even drink my tea. I'm sorry. Let me have one sip for the aesthetic. This is green tea. My sister's been obsessed with it. And then that's Lorianne. Lorianne's been obsessed with it. And then this other time she was having like a deep ass conversation with Dato about green tea. And this is the right brand, so this is really good. So yeah guys, I look forward to filming for you guys again. I'm so excited to be back. Do y'all like this new setting? Please let me know. This is me at home. This is my mom's chair from her favorite spot in the house. I moved it here so I can film in front of this fireplace that doesn't work. Actually, David said it works. I just need to put gas on it. But yeah, I'm really excited to film at home. It feels very weird, but I'm really excited. So please look forward to more videos. Guys, we won't talk. We're gonna talk deep things. So I'm really excited. In fact, I feel like going to change outfit and coming back to talk about something else. But I'm not gonna do that. But I hope you guys have an amazing week. Look forward to more videos, to more photos, to more Q&As, to more tips on how to deal with things as they come. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye.